goodness, folks. What I'm about to share with you today is absolutely mind-blowing. It happened on live television in front of millions of viewers, and Meghan Markle couldn't do a single thing to stop it. Jimmy Fallon just delivered the most devastating blow to Meghan's carefully crafted image, and the fallout has been catastrophic. This single moment might have just destroyed years of meticulous PR work in less than 10 seconds. Now, I know you guys are excited for more of us. But before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now, let me take you through exactly what happened. There was Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show, doing his usual thing, poking fun at celebrity culture with that trademark cheeky grin of his. The audience was laughing, everything seemed normal, and then bam, he dropped a joke so sharp, so humiliating, that it has now become the defining clip of Meghan's entire week, possibly her entire Netflix comeback attempt. What did he say that was so devastating? Fallon looked straight into the camera and quipped that Meghan was never meant to marry royalty. Some people are princess material, others are yacht party material. The audience absolutely erupted. They didn't hesitate. They didn't groan uncomfortably. They roared with laughter. And just like that, with one perfectly timed punchline, Meghan Markle's entire carefully polished brand cracked right there under the studio lights. This wasn't just any random late-night gag, folks. This was a mainstream American comedian saying out loud what critics have whispered for years, that Meghan's fairy tale was never built for longevity, that her place in the royal story was forced, and that her past, specifically those persistent yacht rumors, was always going to catch up with her. For those who don't know, for years, whispers have circulated about Meghan's pre-royal life in glitzy Hollywood circles, attending high-end yacht parties that allegedly weren't just about champagne and sunsets. Though these rumors have never been proven, they've clung to her reputation like superglue, surfacing every time she tries to project elegance or gravitas. And Fallon just threw gasoline on that fire. Within minutes, yacht girl Meghan was trending across social media platforms. It was as if years of PR work had been completely erased by a single joke. This wasn't buried in some tabloid or shady blog post. This was the Tonight Show broadcast to millions, shared across continents, and repeated endlessly on social media. Memes exploded overnight. People were creating split screens showing Meghan on yachts in old paparazzi photos next to Fallon's punchline. Hashtags like Yacht Girl Meghan and Park Girl were trending everywhere. What makes this sting even more is the reaction from that studio audience. They didn't hesitate for a second. They instantly found the idea of Meghan being yacht material funny, believable, even obvious. For a woman who has fought tirelessly to control her narrative, this was absolutely catastrophic. It wasn't Britain laughing at her. It wasn't the tabloids. It was mainstream America finding humor in the suggestion that she never belonged in the royal family. Sources close to Meghan say she went into complete meltdown mode after hearing the joke. Furious, livid, and throwing tantrums were the words used to describe her reaction. She allegedly feels Fallon crossed a line, that the joke wasn't just comedy, but a direct attack on her credibility, her marriage, and her desperate attempt to rebuild her image through Netflix and other Hollywood projects. Her team reportedly scrambled to keep her calm, but the damage was already done. The humiliation wasn't just in the joke itself. It was in knowing she couldn't fight back. If she complained publicly, she'd look petty and unable to take a joke. If she stayed silent, she'd look weak. Fallon had completely cornered her with one line, and there was absolutely nothing she could do about it. What's particularly brutal about Fallon's joke is how it echoed something Meghan has tried for years to silence, the belief that she was never truly suited for royal life. Critics have long argued that Meghan treated her marriage to Harry as a stepping stone into global celebrity culture rather than a lifelong commitment to service to the crown. Fallon didn't invent this stigma. He simply validated it, packaged it into a late-night punchline, and broadcast it to millions who laughed in agreement. Within days, rival hosts on other networks were piling on, riffing on Meghan's humiliation. One called her the Duchess of Desperation. Another quipped, "I guess with love Meghan means love letters to herself." When late-night comedians smell blood, they circle like sharks. And now Meghan had given them exactly what they needed, an easy, universally recognizable target. For years, she had been somewhat shielded by the idea that mocking her was cruel or unfair. Fallon broke that dam and everyone else came flooding through. But perhaps the most painful part for Meghan wasn't the jokes themselves, it was the silence that followed. Where were her celebrity friends? Where were the Instagram posts defending her? The tweets from feminist allies calling Fallon's joke out of line? They never came. Even figures who once defended Meghan in the press, actresses, talk show hosts, activist influencers, stayed completely silent. Not one A-lister went on record to scold Fallon. Not one rallied behind her Netflix release. And in Hollywood, silence is louder than words. It means one thing and one thing only. They don't see you as worth defending anymore. You've become expendable. You're no longer the hot commodity everyone wants to associate with. You're a liability. PR experts quickly weighed in, explaining that jokes like Fallon's aren't just humiliating in the moment, they stick. Once a person becomes a punchline, it becomes shorthand for how the public sees them. Think about it. Fallon's yacht remark is far shorter, far sharper, and far more repeatable than Meghan's hours-long Netflix content. Which one do you think the public will remember? One industry analyst summed it up perfectly. Fallon branded Meghan with a single word, yacht, and the internet will never let her wash it off. Here's the most delicious irony in all of this. Fallon's joke indirectly vindicated the royal family. For years, palace loyalists have argued Meghan wasn't truly committed to royal duty, that she was chasing status, not service. Fallon's punchline, not meant to marry royalty, echoed that sentiment perfectly. The crowd's uproarious laughter only reinforced what the palace has been saying all along, that Meghan was an outsider who simply didn't belong. The fact that this message came not from a royal commentator or British tabloid, but from one of America's most popular comedians, is a nightmare scenario for Meghan. It means the royal family doesn't even have to fight the PR battle anymore. Hollywood is doing it for them. When you add it all up, the viral clip, the memes, the piling on from other comedians, the deafening silence from her Hollywood allies, and the echo of royal narratives, you see the devastating truth. Meghan Markle isn't just facing a PR problem. She's facing a full-blown credibility crisis. Her Netflix shows are branded boring, her authenticity is doubted at every turn, and now her reputation has been reduced to a punchline about yachts and ambition. The real lesson here is brutal but simple. Once you become comedy fodder, you don't get to control your story anymore. The story controls you. And that's Meghan's true nightmare. Not that Fallon made a joke, but that his one line may completely outlive "With love, Meghan" entirely. Because 10 years from now, people may not remember her Netflix show, her podcast, or her speeches. But they will absolutely remember the uproarious laughter when Jimmy Fallon said Meghan Markle was yacht party material. The catastrophe doesn't end with Fallon's joke. The real destruction came from the audience reaction to her Netflix show. The reviews for With Love, Meghan Season 2 are nothing short of devastating. Critics have called it self-indulgent, overproduced, and completely soulless. Even fans who once defended her say they didn't even bother finishing the season. And then there are the comment sections. Oh, the brutal comment sections. On Netflix forums, people are saying this isn't a show, it's a PR campaign in slow motion. On Twitter, the memes are relentless. One viral post showed Fallon's yacht punchline with the caption, "More entertaining than the entire season." On TikTok, users are editing clips of Meghan cooking with laugh tracks dubbed over them, mockingly her attempts at authenticity. That's the brutal truth Meghan can't escape. The audience doesn't just dislike her show, they're actively laughing at it. Fallon simply gave them permission to do so louder and more publicly. This all comes at the worst possible time for Meghan. Her side hustles, the wine that's supposedly morally better than all of us, the jams and all the rest of it, are already struggling to gain traction. Her Netflix deal has been reportedly downgraded, and now the one thing she had left, her carefully crafted image of dignity and authenticity, has been shattered by a single joke and the audience's raucous laughter that followed. What we're witnessing isn't just a bad PR week. It's the potential unraveling of an entire brand. Meghan wanted to go viral with her Netflix show, but instead she's gone viral as the butt of a joke. She wanted people talking about "With Love, Meghan," but instead they're talking about yacht parties and ambition gone wrong. The lesson here is as old as Hollywood itself. The public can forgive almost anything except pretentiousness. And when they decide you're taking yourself too seriously, they don't get angry. They laugh. That laughter is the sound of a carefully built image crumbling to pieces, and all the Netflix deals and Instagram posts in the world can't put it back together again. Ta-ta, and bye for now.